Hey, what's up, everybody? So, in this video, we're going to be talking about why you should not wait to start sharing what you're learning.
I got $1 billion mindset.
See, oftentimes people are always waiting until they've got it perfectly figured out. I'm going to start sharing about how to become financially wealthy once I've made $1 million. I'm going to begin to share how to buy real estate after I have a portfolio of 100 deals. And although it's good that you want to get to the place where you feel that you've proven it to yourself fully, what I want you to understand is you're robbing people of the opportunity to learn and grow today because you're waiting until some tomorrow that may never come to begin sharing. Now, this is going to be contrary to what some of your favorite gurus have told you about. Don't be the person that goes out and begins talking about something until you've fully accomplished it. I'm going to put a little bit of a tweak on it. What I want to ask you is if you were in school again, and let's say that you're a sophomore in high school, is it not possible for you to teach your younger brother or your younger sister who's in middle school to begin helping them out because you've already overcome their current hurdle? See, I want you to understand and recognize that where you're at right now is the equivalent of you being a sophomore and maybe you're tutoring a freshman. And if you don't start to teach them, that freshman is going to unnecessarily continue to suffer and not learn and not progress because the person who you're like, man, that's a college degree doctorate graduate over there. They should be teaching the freshman. See, the difference between these people are so far that the freshman actually has a hard time accepting and getting knowledge. They feel that the gap is too big. However, when you're right here, you're just one page ahead, you're just one chapter ahead. They can actually receive information from you in an easier way. Also, I want to highlight this. There's two major pieces that most people don't ever think about. The first one, I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to go into detail. The first one is when you're closer to them, you're going to be able to teach them. It's going to allow you to learn how to actually teach. See, teaching is a skill in and of itself. We'll talk about that some more. The second thing is if they're truly a fan of yours, if somebody's truly is a supporter and a follower, you're robbing them of the opportunity to support you through your growth because you're hiding your growth. You're not sharing your growth with anybody. So let's jump into that first one. The first one being that there's somebody that needs you to learn how to teach so that they can get to the next level. Teaching by itself is already a skill. There are many, many amazing performers who can actually do the skills who are terrible at teaching. Have you ever met your friend who's a really good athlete, for example, and when they try to coach somebody else, they're just telling them, hey man, you just gotta throw the ball like this and it goes in. Like what's wrong with you? Just throw the ball like this. It's like, well, sometimes people need it broken down into a simpler a simpler process. And what happens is because this natural talent, this individual who's really good at what they do, that they have the skill, they can perform, they never actually had to go through the step that maybe the person who's trying to learn from them is going through. I used to coach parkour. And when I was working with a lot of different students, I had some athletes where it'd be as simple as I just needed to explain to them, yeah, you're going to jump, you're going to pull your knees to your chest, let your body rotate over when you see the floor, stick your feet down, land, boom, you just did a backflip. It worked for maybe about a tenth. So 1 in 10 students would be able to learn that way. The other 9 out of 10, they couldn't accept that sort of instruction. They needed things broken down a little bit more. We had to first work on just, hey, I need you to swing your arms and jump up as high as you can, like you're trying to grab the ceiling. Awesome, perfect, kid. Now, as you do this, I want you to think about bringing your chest behind your butt, and it's going to feel like you're leaning backwards. So as you jump up, I want you to bring your chest behind your butt and leaning back. Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to catch you. And I had to start breaking it down into simpler steps. We had to break it piece by piece by piece. It took me some time to realize what the proper processes were on how to recreate something so that anybody can learn. I started to realize teaching is a skill in and of itself. Although I was able to perform the skills, being able to teach it, being able to pass knowledge on to somebody else, that's a whole nother skill. So when you're waiting now to get to the point of you're at the top of the mountain and you think from there you're going to begin to teach other people, and let's say it takes you 10 years to get to the top of the mountain, well, guess what? It may take you another 10 years to learn how to teach. which means somebody's going to be waiting 20 years to begin learning from you. But if you're beginning to learn how to teach now and you're beginning to teach on your way up, you're helping somebody out today and you're not teaching them the whole book. Don't tell them this is how you become a millionaire if you haven't fully done that yet. But if you've done your first real estate transaction, if you've closed your first sale, if you've generated your first lead, if you filed your taxes, whatever it is that you're learning how to do and you become competent and you get that first proof of concept, begin to teach it. It's going to help them and it's going to level up your ability to teach. So that's number one. Now, number two, when you're not willing to share where you're at and you don't want to share the process, what's happening is you're robbing somebody from the opportunity of being a day one supporter. Listen to this. Have you ever liked a musician? For example, I liked listening to Big Sean and I like listening to artists like Drake, right? Some of you are going to be like, oh, you listen to them? I do, right? And I've been listening to these guys since back when I was in high school, back when I was just listening to their mixtapes, back when Drake was still just that Canadian rapper coming up from Degrassi. And nowadays, I might meet someone who says, oh, yeah, I listen to Drake. I'm like, oh, word. When did you start listening? Oh, like 2021. Oh man, come on, you haven't been listening to Drake. You don't know anything about the old albums. You don't know about the mixtapes. You don't know about all the beef. You don't know about when people were giving him hate and like what it meant to be a supporter back then when other people didn't see it. See, your fans have this pride of being able to have watched you grow, being able to have been supporting you before anybody else believed in you. But you're robbing them of that opportunity if you keep saying, well, I'm going to wait until I'm finished before I begin to show the world what I am and what I'm doing. Give your fans the opportunity to be day one fans. I see people who have accomplished a lot, but not a lot of people know who they are and they want to be known. You know, it's one thing if you're like, hey, look, I don't want to be known. I don't want to help other people. I just want to be quiet and just take care of me and my family. That's your prerogative. But these people now are trying to help other people. And the challenge that they're running into is nobody knows who they are because they weren't sharing their journey along the way. No one was able to relate to them. And now they just seem like, oh, well, you guys always had it. Yeah, of course you can do it. It's so easy for you. You already have the business. You already have the clout. You already have the confidence. What you got to understand is people need to see the journey. They need to see the step by step. So don't take that from them. Share it with them. So I encourage you to begin sharing your process now. Start documenting your process. Use that cell phone that you're watching this on. Use that laptop that you're watching this on and begin to record your progress. Document it. And I want to encourage you to think about one more thing. When you're older and your kids are wanting to know, Mom, Dad, how did you do it? How cool would it be for you to go and show them a catalog? You could just open up a YouTube channel and say, here's the whole thing. Imagine your family binge watches your entire journey one weekend in the future. Your kids get to see, wow, they did this for me. They did this for us. The rest of the family is able to see, wow, look at what grandpa did. Look at what mom did. Look at what dad did. That's amazing. So if you got any value at all from this video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this video out with somebody else who you think would benefit from it. I want to know in the comment section as well, what do you think? Are you going to start sharing more of your content, more of yourself, more of your journey with your audience? Or are you going to continue to keep it all in to yourself and wait for some later day that may or may not come?